everybody. It's Mark again, Jonathan, but he can say that for himself. Name?
I forgot.
Okay, so his name's Jonathan. This is our second part 2 of our premiere episode.
Now we're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite video games, starting with your top 10.
Well, and this, what do we call this segment?
A few of our favorite things.
A few of our favorite things. All right, my number 10 video game is Parappa the Rappa. It's for the PlayStation 1, well, it's called the PlayStation then because no one knew. You can get it. It's been re-released on different systems, but the original was on the PlayStation 1. It's a music rhythm game where you're kind of keeping to the beat using the buttons on the controller. The music is just awesome. Love the music. The artwork was kind of revolutionary at the time, and the game just has an attitude that's just super fun. It's just great. Love it. If anyone can ever find me the beanie that there's one out there. There's a few out there. I know a friend of ours. We're going to call him
Bob S.
Bob. Yes, yeah, we'll call him Bob S. He has one. I'd really like to have one.
He has one?
Yeah, I think he has one.
I want to see it.
So anyway, that's my number 10, Parappa the Rappa.
My number 10 is Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. It pretty much is what it sounds like. You're making a Mario level and you can change between which Mario game you want it to be from. Whether that's like the first Mario game, which was very pixelated, or like the newer ones for the Wii, like Super Mario Bros. I don't know what the name is, but you can just switch between levels and you can upload your levels and play.
You can switch between themes.
Yeah, themes.
So you can build a level and make it look like old school Mario games, or just press a button, make it look like, the newest theme of Mario. So that's your number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Minecraftian type culture out there, they like this type of stuff. I don't have the patience to build things over and over and over and over.
Oh, you have to beat it to upload it too.
My
levels are impossible.
That's pretty cool. You can't just make crazy levels. You have to build your level, then be able to complete it before you can upload it. And there's hundreds of thousands of levels up there that people have created and uploaded, so unlimited Mario. My number 9 is Motorstorm Apocalypse for the PS3. As you'll see, especially in video games, but even in board games, I kind of like the ridiculous. I like the over-the-top, and this one is just one of those. Motorstorm Apocalypse, what I like about it is the game, the assets in the game, meaning the buildings or trees or whatever, are destructible. So you might be racing through and one of your bombs accidentally misses a car or missiles and knocks this big 5-story building down. Well, next time around on the lap, the building's now down and trees are down. You got to figure out your path through it, going 200 miles an hour. So I like destructive environment type of games, so that each lap is different. It's a really good racing game. The controls are really good. And that'll definitely be, we'll look more at that in one of our upcoming episodes about racing games.
My number 9 is Rocket League for the PS4. It's pretty much just soccer with cars. You're driving around hitting a soccer ball, kind of. It's low gravity, you can drive on walls, pick up boosts, and you're pretty much just trying to beat other people online with soccer with cars.
Yeah, it's basically Pong with low gravity soccer arena.
It's more like soccer, not Pong.
Well, yeah, it's more like soccer. And it just went from nobody knew about a game to just exploded, and it is big. You can play online. I get it. I just don't like it. My number 8 is Mass Effect 2 for the Xbox 360. Before that game came out, I wasn't really into these type of games, kind of action RPG type games. This one really changed my mind. It's a type of game where you've got, it's an action game, so things are happening, but the story has story arcs based on your decisions. So you might be told to go, speak to a character about the plan to, what we're going to do next, and you'll actually have a conversation where they'll bring up 3 or 4 lines of text, and you respond to that. And how you respond and interact with that character kind of splits the story arc into different directions.
Butterfly effect.
Wow.
That's what it's called.
Butterfly. I'll have to learn about that later. Interesting. I don't know if he's right, but it's
I
interesting.
am right.
So anyway, love that one. There's Mass Effect 1, obviously, and actually 3, but Mass Effect 2 is game changer. It's pretty much considered the best in the series, and I love that game. Love it, love it, love it. Introduced me to that genre, and I've ended up going on liking some more.
My number 8 is Pikmin 3 for the Wii U.
Good luck explaining this one.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to explain. Pretty much you're crashed on a planet after traveling on a spaceship, and you're trying to find your 2 other friends, and along the way you meet these little people, or like little friends called Pikmin, and they help you get around, like building structures to help you get over rivers and stuff. And that's pretty much all you can explain it. It's surprising how it's actually good.
Yeah, it's a really pretty game. It's really, I hate to use the word cute, but it's cute. If you've ever played the game Lemmings, which has been on pretty much every gaming phone, iOS platform ever, it's kind of a version of that, but much, much better. I like it. Not in my top 10, but it's a good game. I see why he likes it. My number 7 is number 1 in my heart. It's Crazy Taxi. Like I said it before, I enjoy more arcadey type sit down, play for a little bit games and shut it off. I'm not really, I'm not really interested in delving too deep into a game and having to progress and then get set back. And I just want to have fun. And Crazy Taxi epitomizes that. It ended up actually, it's in arcade. You might even still find it. But this is for the Sega Dreamcast, which, except for maybe the PlayStation 4, one of the best systems ever. I love the Dreamcast. Anyway, Crazy Taxi is a game where, again, over the top, you're picking people up in this kind of cartoony action taxi cab, and they're saying, okay, take me to the baseball stadium. And the baseball stadium's across town, but between here and there, you've got to just drive crazily, and you go over bumps and hills. You might crash into different people. You might find jumps to go over freeways or whatever. There's just a lot of different things. What you're trying to do is scare them or make it exciting enough that they give you kind of like a bigger tip at the end of the ride. So you don't want to have them hate it, but you're trying to make it as exciting and ridiculous as you can. And then once you drop them off, you find more drivers, and it's kind of on a timer. You can keep going, and just super fun. I can't wait to show you that more in depth if you haven't played it before. You can find it on other systems. There's been a Crazy Taxi 2 and maybe a 3, but Crazy Taxi, the original for the Dreamcast, number 1 in my heart. Have to give it a number 7 in my list, though.
My number 7 is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. This is pretty much an online first-person shooter in the Plants vs. Zombies universe. If you haven't heard of Plants vs. Zombies, the original Plants vs. Zombies is just a game where you're placing plants in your lawn.
And I hate it.
And they fight the zombies that are trying to eat you.
Whoopee.
And this game's a lot better.
Yeah.
Because you're playing online against other people, and you're either on the plants team or the zombies team. And maybe, for example, the pea shooter would shoot peas out of his big mouth, obviously. And you're just trying to beat the zombies in whatever game mode you're playing.
Yeah, it's very thematic, like you said. I detest, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, I'm opinionated. That's why we're going to use emojis, because they're kinder. I just never liked the Plants vs. Zombies universe or franchise. But this game is a first-person shooter. We're going to kind of use Call of Duty games as kind of the basis of what we compare a lot of games to. And this is basically a fun, less violent, bloody, make you angry, rage quit, throw the controller, online multiplayer shooter. Really, really fun. And the thing that makes it fun for me and Jonathan, and for I think 90% of the people that play video games, especially Call of Duty, is it's fair. There's no overpowered characters or weapons. You really can't get much better than other people. I mean, some people, especially kids, like 9-year-old kids, I don't know what their parents are doing, but they spend hours and hours and hours upgrading their character. And if you're like me, you jump into a game, you look around for 3 seconds, you go, I'm going to walk, and then, you know, you get a headshot.
Not
or
Plants vs.
Yeah,
Zombies.
not in Plants vs. Zombies, but in Call of Duty. So I that's why I don't like a lot of those. And this game is just fair, well balanced, kind of cartoony, but it's really, really entertaining.
It works.
It works. Yeah, this would be in my top 10, just didn't make it. But yeah, there's 2 versions. The second one's called Plants vs. Zombies.
Not as good.
Not as good. Has more things to do, not as good. My number 6 is Modnation Racers. It's a kart racing game. If there was never such a thing as Mario Kart, which I think is a little overrated. Oh, I'm going to take a beating for that. But as far as the racing goes, Modnation Racers blows it away. If there wasn't Mario Kart, I think this would have been this gold standard in kart racing. This was for the PlayStation 3. And what makes it great, not just the racing's tight and fun, lots of fun little missiles and things you can drop and throw and
It's not as hard
launch.
as Mario Kart.
Not as hard, but the fun thing is you can build your own tracks, build your own karts, build your own racers or mods, and even though the tool set they give you is not humongous, it's perfect. There's just about enough things for you to use, but what people can do with different shapes and colors and stickers is absolutely phenomenal. When we used to play this more, we would just spend hours online looking at people's creations, and the cool thing is you can download them, and then on, you know, when you boot up your system, you have access to that track and you can race as that character or in that cart. And a lot of times games on older systems, the servers aren't live anymore. That's just not cost effective. The Modnation servers are live right now, are still. I haven't heard or read when they might be going out. But if you have a PS3 and you don't have this game, I'd go out and get it soon and spend all day. You can go online and Google Modnation creations and find millions, or you can go in the game and do searches, and you won't regret it. Great, great game, Modnation Racers. That's my number 6.
My number 6 is Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. You're pretty much just in the Batman DC world in Lego form, and you're going around fighting all the DC bad guys like the Joker, Lex Luthor, and I don't know which other ones there are. And pretty much you're just trying to complete the story mode, and your end goal is to either collect all the gold bricks or in red bricks, or just give up.
Yeah, so it's just a fun kind of side-scrolling-ish action game where you're just going through. You know, there's lots of Lego games. There's Raiders of the Lost Ark, which isn't very good. The Star Wars ones, Harry Potter. What's that?
There's 7 Star Wars. Wait, it's 4 ones? 4 ones?
Yeah. But you're just in the world, so you see a lot of the same scenes that are in movies or setups and characters, and it's just, you know, you punch a bad guy and all his bricks fall apart. There's just something, and then you collect the bricks. It's just really fun. I love the Lego games. That's a good choice of them. My number 5, not even going to remotely try and explain it to you. Don't let the cover scare you off. It's called Katamari Damacy. This is for the PlayStation 2. There's plenty of versions that have popped out after this, and there's I think a few before this. This is the best one. You're rolling a ball and rolling over things, and then your ball gets bigger and you roll over more things, and it sounds like the worst game ever. There's no way to explain it. The cover doesn't help. There's a cow and a big ball and a rainbow. Other than the ball has nothing to do with it. But in our dexterity episode, this is one of those games we'll be showing you, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Our whole family, he's been playing it since since it came out. My daughter, she's 23, she loves playing it. My wife she enjoys watching it. It's one of the games you can enjoy watching other people play. Along with Crazy Taxi, number 1 in my heart. I need 3 hearts because I have games that I love so much.
My number 5 is Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens.
For the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, PlayStation 4. Another Lego game. It's pretty much Batman's DC superheroes, but Star Wars characters. You're just playing the story mode, and then at the end you're either getting all the gold bricks and red bricks or giving up again. And we got the gold edition, the deluxe edition, which comes with the DLC, but there wasn't really much DLC.
Yeah, normally I don't kind of fall for the season passes or whatever, which sometimes can be 30, 40, 50 bucks, and that's what the game costs. But we love Lego video games. We love Star Wars. Again, just really fun. You don't have to be a Lego fan to like it. It helps, you know, you see a little Lego blocky version of C-3PO or whatever. It's just really fun, but that's one of the good ones, definitely in my top 20. My number 4 is a game called Bulletstorm, once again for the PS3. As I've mentioned, I like over-the-top, almost silly, but it has to be a good game. It has to work, it has to make sense. Bulletstorm is kind of a homage, takeoff, rip-off, wink at the Call of Duty series games. Just over the top. It definitely deserves the M rating. There's things in there that you can do that are a little potty humorish, I would say. Yeah, as he's growing up, and my daughter, I try not to play any games with them in the room that are like this. And I think this is a good rule to live by. Spend time with your family. I mean, it's sad. I know people that adults, you know, that they'll sit home on the weekend and play video games while their kids are out doing stuff. And I don't know. If you do that, you know, more power to you. But I think I have I think I have a healthier family and son and daughter because I haven't let gaming interfere with and wife. I haven't let gaming interfere with time with them. I've tried to always include them in that, and I don't know. That's just my opinion. But Bulletstorm, kind of crazy, a little offensive, but just good action, fun, silly.
My number 4 is also probably number 1 in my heart.
Yeah.
War of the Monsters for the PlayStation 2.
And you need to thank me for that, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it somehow, and he reminded me.
We're making the list, and I'm like, you forgot War of the Monsters, and he almost started crying from sadness and guilt and happiness. Also, I thought,
really.
Also what?
Not really.
Not really. I also thought Portal 2 was going to be on his list. It'd probably be top 15.
Yep, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
So, War of the Monsters, it's also what it sounds like. You're battling giant monsters. It's not online because PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But if you're at your friend's house and they have a PlayStation 2, or maybe you have a friend at your house, you can play multiplayer and you can fight each other.
So it's these big, like a Godzilla monster, Transformers kind of guy, you know, where the buildings are this tall and they're that tall, and you're just, let's show them what the game looks like. Pickup car. Well, I don't know if they make that sound.
That was Scooby-Doo.
That was more Scooby-Doo. But you get the idea from the cover. It's just stupid, fun, battling big, you know, B-movie characters. I like it. It's a good game. Hopefully, there's rumors, and again, I can't tell you who my sources are. I forget a lot, but I've heard rumors that it's going to be remastered and re-released.
You didn't tell me that either.
Yeah, well, yeah. We need to spend more time together. I don't know. Spend too much time playing video games.
I never play video games.
My number 3 is Borderlands II. Lots of people that know me in my kind of gaming history, when I told them I not only played this, but I loved it, they thought, what's happened to you? I normally don't play kind of violent, aggressive games. But I think because this one has a different style of artwork, kind of a cel-shaded thing, it's not, you know, realistic looking characters. I think the violence in it is it kind of sounds, you know, like I'm explaining away violence, but it's a lot less. I'm not desensitized to violence, but it's just a lot less in your face. It's just an action game. You're going through different worlds, but the things I liked about it was the story to it, and the characters, the writing, the voice acting. But it's just a really, really fun action game. We'll be exploring that more in one of our upcoming episodes. And Jonathan wanted me to tell you one of my favorite things about the game. It'd be a big spoiler alert, and I want to make sure, you know, I want to make sure that it's done right when I release that information. So my number 3, Borderlands 2.
My number 3, well, first you've probably seen that most of my top 10 games are Wii games. And I wasn't really expecting that to happen. I was expecting them mostly to be PS2, 3, and 4, and no Xbox games, obviously.
Well, we're not haters. We just happen to like more PlayStation games. Looking at it, I just think PlayStation, the first-party games are just awesome. They just really seem to understand the gamers and give them the games they want, or introduce games to them that they didn't know they want. They just do a really good job at their first-party games. So, we're big PlayStation fans.
So like I was saying...
I think Bob S., big PlayStation fan.
Yeah.
Durr. Okay.
So, like I was saying, most of the games on here are Wii games for me. So I wouldn't be surprised when you shouldn't be surprised when I tell you that my number 3 is Super Smash Bros. Brawl, because that's pretty much all the Wii games there are, Nintendo games in one. You're fighting all the Wii characters, or not Wii characters, Nintendo characters.
Nintendo licensed characters, and it can be Sonic too and stuff, can't you?
Yes, you can also unlock Sonic, and in this game there's a story mode, and once you play the story mode you'll unlock most of the characters, but you'll have to keep playing against like your friends when they're like over at your house or something to actually unlock all the characters.
Yeah.
But that's not like the only fun part. Like, the best part is just seeing how many people you get in one game and fighting all the but what's.
Yeah, it's just like it sounds. It's a bunch of Nintendo characters, up to 4 at once, in a big brawl. I like the game, I just can't play it. It's so frenetic, and a lot of times so much is going on I can't even tell where my character is, and so I'm just button mashing and lose. So it seems, even though adults really like the game, it seems like kids are better at it because, I don't know, they've got better twitch reflexes or whatever, but it's considered one of the greatest games or franchises of all time. Super Smash Brothers, great game. My number 2 is Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox One. If you notice, the cover looks a little similar to Bulletstorm. Sunset Overdrive, again, ridiculous, over the top, kind of a semi rip off of the Call of Duty kind of thing, but you're in an open world, and the world is kind of this culture, this soda pop culture.
But everyone turns mutant because the soda is like evil.
Yeah, this big evil corporation, and it's just really fun. The weapons are crazy. You can put your characters in different attire. One time I had a character, was a big buff guy. He had a pimp hat on, no shirt, but a king's robe or cape, and then diapers or underwear on.
Like
and I know, I apologize to my family that's watching this, this is how I've turned out, but it's just the funniest thing. And when they kind of talk or do things, it's silly, but it's so good. I mean, I've been playing video games for 5 decades, and so it's not just up there because it's silly. It's just a really, really fun, enjoyable. You can get lost playing that for a long time. So that's my number 2, Sunset Overdrive.
My number 2 is Star Wars Battlefront for the PS4. So Star Wars Battlefront, you're playing as Star Wars characters, either the Rebels or Stormtroopers or Imperials.
And this is in the
side.
Battlefront, which is a series like Call of Duty world. It's not cartoony characters. It's like as close to realistic movie looking as they can get it.
So you're playing against people online, and you're pretty much just trying to get either the most kills or like completely objective.
Yeah.
And
it's objective based.
Yeah, and it's made by the same people who made Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and it's pretty much the same thing but in a Star Wars universe.
It would have been in my top 10 except for 2 things. There's no campaign mode, so you start it up, you go right into multiplayer.
And you're bad at it.
Yeah, and I like campaign mode. I'm paying for that. Again, in Call of Duty type games, I never play multiplayer. You play a long 10 to 12 hour campaign, the story, and it's great. And then to me, then there's multiplayer. Most people, I think the majority, buy those type of games for the multiplayer. This game didn't have any campaign, any story, and most people would agree it really hurt the game. I'm sure it sold tons and tons, but it really missed the mark on that. I think they didn't have the time to get it completed like they wanted to, put it out, present it as best they could, so they just said we're leaving it off. I don't know, but that's kind of what I've heard. Another thing is there's flying levels where it's just, man, you're in the Millennium Falcon or an X-Wing or a TIE Fighter, and the controls, wonky is a compliment. They're horrible. Our friend again, Bob asked, who we would consider a video game expert, if not trendsetter in the video game world, he can't fly it either. It just, I don't know. Yeah, if there was an emoji, it would be chokes. I mean, it just, pardon my French, but it sucks. The flying sucks. So I just can't put it in my top 10. Jonathan, why don't you tell him what your number one is?
It's your turn to do.
I know it's my turn, but I'm going to let you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, my number one is Uncharted 4 for the PlayStation 4. Really excited, if you haven't seen this game or played it, to share it with you more in depth in, again, upcoming episodes. You got to stay tuned. But it came out this year. It's by far, can't even tell you how good this game is. It's engrossing. The action's great. The story that goes not along with it. The story and the game interweave, complement each other, work together so well that it's going to be really hard for other games to attempt to copy that or mimic that. The team that put this together, Naughty Dog, geniuses, how they did it. The other series, there's Uncharted 1, 2, 3, which you can buy in a collection, and 2 up until this was my favorite. But Uncharted 4, best game I've ever played, without a doubt. So
my number one is also Uncharted 4. Not a big surprise. It's I don't know.
And that's not because he wants to agree with everything Daddy says. As you know, most teenagers, 13-year-olds, they'll go the opposite spectrum. They might agree with you, but they're going to say the opposite or be a contrarian just because that's what they're built to do. That's what their DNA is. So he's not liking this just because I do. He just really, I like it. I like it a lot. You gotta move your lips.
Okay.
It's really fun. I like it. It's exciting, and I can't wait to play it some more. Okay, so it's good, Jonathan. Thank you for that review. So that's our top 10 video games. We hope you got a little insight into what we like and appreciate and play. And if you want to, put your list down on our, the subscribe and then put your maybe top 10 list of video games down in the comments. We'd love for you to subscribe. We're really happy. We're at 30, I don't know what we're at.
30 views, maybe.
No, we've got a lot of views.
Well, that's because of me.
No.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
Yeah,
don't tell him that.
Why?
So anyway, no, it's going well. We don't really care. We just want to share. I like watching other review shows that are different because I'm like, oh, I never would have thought of that. So we're, maybe there's a father and son or a father and daughter out there that don't think we're crazy or don't think we're stupid and want to see what we have to say. So the three of you, and we'd like a lot of you people, if you could just subscribe. We've got some cool things that planned that I don't think you've seen before in kind of this context. So we're doing video games and board games. We're going to be playing some interactive games with you. So thank you for watching. Again, please like us as much as you can and subscribe, and we'd appreciate anything, Jonathan, you have to say. We got to have some going away ending the show catchphrase. Mine would be, I don't know what mine would be. Yeah, we're not going to do that.